Alrighty, hello and welcome back. Okay, so for you, of course, it's the next episode. For me, I have maybe gotten a little carried away with the farming. However, it's going to make the rest of the journey much smoother. So as you can see, I now have 23 hours on this save file. I've done 74 dungeon trips. I've made a total of, it says, how can I have a total of 7.3 million, but I spent 7.5? I'm not exactly sure how that's possible, but okay. Total essence earned 327 and spent is 337. I'm gonna let you read this. I'm just gonna flip some of the pages just in case you want to see where I'm at and the total number of chests and so on and so forth. Like most gold in one trip. We're gonna cover that in just a moment. But I have significantly boosted power, at least based off the last episode. It's hard for me to differentiate, so I had to use, I took a couple of pictures of like ending screens as I was moving forward because I wanted to be able to kind of summarize what I've done between then and now. But yeah, I know our relics at the time of the last episode, we had 10 into attack, 7 into crit, and 3 into health. Now we're currently 10 into attack, same thing, 14 into crit, so, and then 10 into health. So we haven't, I mean, these are pretty expensive. I mean, you need 31 just for one upgrade, and you just don't get that many in the dungeons. All right, you may have noticed a couple of other things. So let's start with all the upgrades that I've done. So everything in the tavern is now maxed, and the casts, to max that, we now get a 55% discount. That was about 100k. The decor, I think it was around 10k, but I didn't actually calculate that, so I don't remember exactly. And the banker, I maxed that for just ROI when you're offline. You always want to leave with a ton, as much money as you can leave. So when you come back, I've calculated it's roughly 10%, even though this is 6 out of 6. I'm not really sure how exactly the calculation is, but I can attest to this. I don't know if it's a set amount of time or if it's just you're away from the game, a certain amount of time passes, we'll say 5 minutes, and then it just gives you the total. But I ran a quick summary of that, and I had 1.7 million, and then when I returned not a few minutes later, it gave me 117,000, which is roughly 10%. So that's that. All this is capped. And then we go into, now are you ready for this? We go into VIP, get ready to be blown away, because we have Fury X, which is a fighter that we'll get to in a moment. I got the save loadout thing. I got the stable, which I'll show you in a moment. I completely maxed the gnomes, which will just help our essence moving forward. Now, just so we're clear, Fury X was 500,000 to do that. The coat was 250,000. The stable was 250,000. To completely max the gnomes, I believe it was right at 2.5 million, which is a lot, obviously. The inherit, that ended up costing 525,000. Now we're not completely done with the P-Warp, but I have 7 of 8 of them. This is the way it reads is kind of weird. You're basically on 7 of 8, and then when I buy this last one, it'll be 8 of 8, and this will be easy to do. But anyways, obviously it's not going to warp you past the boss, which it gives you a warning every single time. So like when we go to the next dimension and it's on, boss is on dungeon level 500, it's not going to warp me to 700 clearly. But anyways, it'll be done, so it'll be one less money sink, and then we can worry about something else, which we'll get to in just a moment, which is actually right now. And then the final thing I was able to do is the magic well, which is huge, and that was another 250,000. Oh, the P-Warp, so far I've invested 1.25 million in it, and I still need 400,000 to finish that. Okay, now you're probably wondering how on earth are you getting that kind of money now, right? Because when we last left off, I think 60k was one of our better runs. Well, first let me show you a couple of things. This can convert money directly into essence, which is why it's so important. Now, even with like a million, gold, it's still not a lot, but it's like, a couple of hundred, which sounds like a lot. But when you get into the higher levels, the essence continues to scale. So, but we needed to have this so we can move forward with the progression. The second thing is you can get pets. They give you this one for free. My guy, the one that they gave me for free, is almost level 5. They start at level 1 and they give you a different description of what they do. But just to quickly show off, So Ray is free, and I've almost leveled him to 5, so he's just giving us a passive MP bonus. You can get Ernie, which is HP bonus, and he costs 1 million. You can get this bro, team attack bonus, 2 million. Jenny's the one I really want. She boosts gold percent, but she's 3 million, so we're gonna have to wait. Norm is 4 million, boosts physical attack. Charlie's 4 million, and he boosts team magic attack percent or something like that. Dasha 4 million and team MP regen, which would be nice. And Tufts, which is another 4 million and boosts HP regen. And then you got Steamy, which he boosts team percent magic crit damage for 5 million. So right now, just having a pet is cool. Eventually, I'll buy all these and level them up, but for now, that's where they're going to be. Okay, what else do we need here? What do we need to cover before we start? Okay, so let me show you. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover, other than the runs. So let me so the last one that we left off on was about 60k, right? Progressively from there, I was running at levels 200 to 300, and I did 155k. Then the next one I did 224k. Then the next one was 316k. Then the next one was 399k, right? And I was thinking, oh, this is pretty good. I can actually knock some of this stuff out, right? But then I did one, and I started boosting for gold find and item find, which I, of course, had kind of forgotten over the time here. And I started at level 1 with a new strategy, and I ended up pulling 846,000 gold on that one with a ton of rare items. Then the run after that with more gold find and more item find, I did 1.5 million, and the run after that was another 1.5 million. So how do we get to that point? Well, the Fury X, I would strongly advise, when you can get this, I wouldn't do it earlier than Dimension 3, because you need at least these 2 relics to make this happen, right? You need these in this order. If you go with something else, you're probably not going to be able to do it as easily. It's still possible, it'll just take longer to grind. But anyways, this unlocks the Zerker class, and that's the Ragezerker. Here we go. So, as you can see here, he won't listen, he'll roar and boost attack on the first turn, and it's plus 0.5 attack for each enemy defeated as well. For him. So what happens is, and the order of this matters, I've run quite a few different simulations here to see what works best, and what I have found is the Zerker first, he will boost someone's attack, the healer will be able to go next, then you want double thieves, and then you want a knight in the final slot because you don't want him to cast his magic. So I can auto this all the way up to floor 400, which I'm going to demonstrate. So all that to say, crit is king, and all I have is gold boosting stuff, with the exception of her. I do not want her to have any status effects. You can see we have a lot of different equipment to cover, but the main point is this armor, the best version, you can see it starts with bronze stars, then it'll be silver stars for the next 3, and then it'll be gold stars for the final 3 tiers. But this is 12% crit chance and 42% crit damage. I have everybody in whatever the highest I can get, and I put her in a Skeletus, which is 25% damage reduction. You could use this potentially as well, but we're not going to right now. And then the shields, I've now finally gotten 3 stars, 5 copies of the 3 stars. So each one of those is 50% bonus to gold. And then every one of these that's in there, additional 45% gold bonus and 10% better loot. Just to show this off, you can do something like this if you'd like, as well as, I haven't even tried this, but it's supposed to be pretty decent damage. This is an extremely rare drop, which I'll have to let go of, unfortunately, but once we move to the next area, but that's kind of a cool one. And then for the armor, I'll just quickly show off. I mean, I've gone through and kind of sold everything that I don't need so that I just keep, the top tier stuff. Weapons, I did get one of these, but again, the crit chance is just not high enough. I was running these before, but at a 10% crit chance, it's just not good enough. So instead, what we run is we run these, and I have the highest I have. Well, I think I got 1 3-star, yeah. So 27 damage, 53% chance to crit, plus of all of our additional bonuses for 203, and then 11% chance to evade on top of that. So if we look at someone like our thief here, you can see 78% chance to crit with all of our bonuses for 244% crit damage, 11% chance to evade, and so on and so forth. So you can just see this should stack up and be quite good. And I know it is because it's clearly worked. Okay. Is that everything? I think it is, because I mean I have been farming for what feels like 10 to 12 hours since the last episode. So, and we will be going into this dungeon at some point, but there's really no point in doing this dungeon until we get to the Dimension 10. But all that to say, I am going to now demonstrate why this is the build. Now, if you don't unlock the Ragezerker and you're like, well, what the heck am I supposed to do with this slot? I would just put another knight there. That's how I was doing it, but I was manually running levels 200 to 300, which you can easily do if you're making the inputs, but this will run itself pretty much. And as you can see, I can go all the way to the boss, but we're not going to do that. So for the remainder of the episode, I was debating whether I was going to talk through all this, but I think I'm just going to let this run, and I'll come back. And when we're ready for the boss, I'll just come back and we'll fight the boss together, and then I'll move into the next dimension. So this might be a little bit longer of an episode, and if you're not interested in seeing all the progression, you can kind of just skip to the end. But I would like you to pay special attention to how high the crits get and how often you see the guys critting, okay? Because remember when I had mentioned that critical strike chance is king, and we need them to be critting on every hit? Well, with the fact that these daggers very consistently crit, as you're already seeing, when you combine that with the Zerker's bonus, he'll randomly boost people as each level goes by. This is why you want to start at the very beginning. By the time we get to the boss, we could potentially 1 or 2 shot the boss. And we're going to get all the chests as we go. We're going to get a lot of junk in these earlier levels, right? None of this is worth much, but the gold all adds up. Now, you could debate, is it worth going this far back? If you're running the Ragezerker setup, I would say yes. Also, the Ragezerker, he always picks the right teleport here. As you can see, this time we got a warp. You can get a fountain. You can get a free chest. You can get a lot of different things. You'll never pick on auto. You'll never pick the wrong one and get penalized and like get burned or get frozen or something like that. I think that's who's doing it. I could be wrong. It might be a different class that's doing that, but I don't recall that ever happening until I put the Ragezerker in. I don't see it under his stats, though, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I do hope you stick with it and check out the amount of damage we're critting for. I've seen the Ragezerker crit, as of right now, for over 1,300 damage if he gets a chance to go. Whereas the guys on the main battlefield, I've seen them all the way up to, I think, 1,000, 1,050 or so, somewhere around there. And of course, he's going to randomly choose who he buffs. You may see me occasionally pop in here, turn auto off, and do something, but more than likely, just as an illustration, I'm going to try not to do that and just let it run so that you can see that you wouldn't even have to be paying attention. And also, if you're wondering, this typically takes, at least in this current setup, it typically takes anywhere from, I think it's 55 to 58 minutes, so let's just call it an hour. And so this will be a longer episode, but again, I want to illustrate the point. I'm going to buy the final inheritance before we jump, and then I'll convert from here on out. I'll convert all money into essence. Then we'll go to the next dimension. We'll get the next relic, and then we'll have some essence to pour into it. So again, watch. He'll always pick properly. Yeah, see, I've never seen it not pick properly. I think that's the Zerker, but maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe the Thief's the one that's doing it. I'm really not sure. Or maybe it's the Knight. I know the Knight enables you to not have any back attacks, and that's huge. Obviously, that's massive. So I don't particularly really like these warps, because what it does is it takes away money from us. So we just jumped right to the end of that, like we just beat the boss. Again, I don't really prefer that, but whatever. I mean, beggars can't be choosers, right? So if you just want to have some, like, I can be going, do something else. I'm probably going to go clean the kitchen or something right now, and then I'll be back. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and shut up. You can enjoy the music. You can enjoy the ambiance, and this is just going to rip through the levels all the way up until we hit 400. And if I'm not back in time for some reason, it'll just kill the boss for me, more than likely. So As a matter of fact, I might just let it go and just see if it can do it. Although it would be a shame to go through all that and then not win. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. Also, before I let you go, one final note. You can potentially die if you get really unlucky. It's most definitely possible. You'll notice that I don't have any restorative items. Well, the fountain, you just saw it. The fountain restores all health and all mana. So that's what if your healer runs out of magic, the fountain is the only way she's getting it back. So I haven't had any problems, and I've run this at least 4 or 5 times at this point. So I think this is the 4th time I've done it this long, because it does take an hour to run. And you can imagine what it's like with some of the higher level stuff. By the way, the healer on auto will never do the AoE heal. She'll do the single target heal, which this is another thing I meant to mention earlier. It's a much higher HP heal, and it cures status effects. So when this person on the right hand side gets low enough in health, she'll cure, and you'll see how much she's curing for, which is actually quite a bit. You'll notice the poison does not tick unless you give them their round. And you can already see these crits are just constant, right? I mean, obviously you'll get unlucky every now and then, but anyways, I think that's everything. I'm sure I've probably forgotten something that I really wanted to mention, but if I don't cover it here, I'll try to cover it in the next episode. So hope you enjoyed this part, and again, I will come back and we will continue with the boss once it's time. Alrighty, I am back with you guys, and of course, for whatever reason, my Zerker ended up getting killed. I haven't had a single run where that ever happened. I mean, of course you can get unlucky. Clearly I got unlucky with that, whatever killed it. If I had to guess, I would say it's something with Icy Tome catching him with low HP, but I wasn't watching, so I have no idea. Anyways, that's unfortunate. I would not say that that's typical, but, you know, it is what it is. So, this, you do not want him casting that, by the way. Yeah, I'm going to take her over and just go ahead and make sure we don't die here. Because that would be the last thing I need. At this point, we're right here. Yeah. So, that being said, I hadn't had any of this happen before, so that's too bad. And when they don't crit, you're just at the mercy of the non-crit there. So what can you do, really? You'll see that this single target, it not only does it heal, it's therapy, so it heals like burning or poison or whatever, but it's like a huge full heal in case you haven't noticed that yet. Look at this, they're just not critting now. When they crit, it's ridiculously high damage, but yeah. So, I mean, the power, there's no denying the power. Oh, crap. I didn't heal. That was not wise. Hopefully we crit. Okay. Them putting us to sleep, disinfect, yeah. See, I don't technically have to take this off, but I will. Alright. Well, let's go into the main boss. Here it is. Let's see how we do. I mean, we're down one man, so that sucks, because he was critting for a lot, but oh well. Garrik. I hope we can do this. So, here we go. Alright, how do we want to do this? Let's start with a heal. I have no idea how hard he hits, but we're going to hit pretty decently, I hope. I mean, we're hitting for 1,000 on that guy. Quake, I have no idea what this does, so, okay, that wasn't terrible. I'll do this. The back attack crits, obviously, are higher than the normal crits, clearly. And when it matters most, we're not critting, so not a good showing here. No crits. Where are all the crits? Okay, great. Great. I mean, we should be fine. Reform. I think that's a heal. Yep. It wasn't a big heal, so it was fine, but so now he's just going to spam curing. So if you can't out-heal his cure, then you're basically dead in the water. Look at that. Her regular back attack did 250 damage. Okay, we got him. I figured we would with the Zerker stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure that the developers intended you to do this without the Zerker, for at least getting through the dimensions. I'm not sure. Maybe it does work with other builds, but right now, based off of the current relics and stuff that we have, I think that's probably the best bet. Oh, and I leveled up my pet up to level 5. You can go from level 1 to level 5. Okay, so this gives you an idea of all the different stuff. If you were doing that for what we just did, these are all the different things I was getting. So I'm just going to flip through them so you can see just how many different things you can potentially pull. Of course, this is all random. We got a lot of warps this time, I'm sure, because it seems like sometimes it just auto does warp after warp after warp. Yeah, the less warps you get, the more kills you get. So we got 619 on this one, and that's the lowest of all the runs that I did. So we definitely got more warps this time, because I had one that was 644, one that was 517, which was even worse, and one that was 691. So, okay, I'm not going to go through all these because there's 24 pages, but you get the idea. Okay, 1.6 million, very good. We did win that. Also, before I forget, because remember when I had mentioned that there was probably something I forgot about? Okay, so bags, when you're killing enemies and you're watching that, basically us go through the dungeon there, you can see little bags drop. But if they're like little brown bags, I believe they're brown, that's common. If it's a little blue bag, it's a rare drop. And if it's like a yellowish gold, it's going to be a legendary drop. So something to keep in mind. You can kind of see if the loot that you're getting is going to be pretty good. The other thing is, if you have the clock, this thing here, if you have the M clock, it'll be going so fast you'll probably won't even be able to see it. And then the next thing that I wanted to remind myself is when you unlock the Zerker with the VIP, this Fury X, you need to, in the tavern, you need to have all these unlocked, because for whatever reason I picked the ones that I wanted, and then when I was refreshing, they just would not show up. Nothing would show up until I unlocked all the sodas, so that might just be by design. Also, I don't think I showed this off, but Dark Mages, this is an excellent class mid to late game. Right now, it's not super great, but this is going to be your bread and butter later. So keep this in mind in case you're wondering. Is this something I beeline to in early game? Definitely not. It's not super great until you have the gear to back it up, but it will become your mate. Like, I mean, in game, I run 3 of these and then a special class, which I'm not going to spoil yet, but we'll unlock that eventually, and we'll get into that later. But anyways, so that was that part. I just wanted to make sure that I had shown that off, because that is, that is this, the zero drink. I don't know why it doesn't show who that is. I've clearly unlocked it, but anyways. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on. I know this is a little bit longer of a journey, but we have to do 2 things. One, VIP. Before we forget, we're going to spend the last 400k on this, and what that essentially does, now we are capped out. Obviously, we don't have to worry about anything that says max. The only thing we need now are the customize, which we'll do eventually. I'm not even too worried about that. I want this for sure, and I want this as well, and then I definitely would want that, and this is a nice convenience, but that will be a priority at some point. I don't even remember how you get these, but I know you get them later in the story. So I think you have to be on the final tier, basically dungeon, like tier 10, dimension 10 or something like that. So that's where we're headed. Anyways, so it's going to be a while before I get some of this stuff. If I get to a dimension where I can make 100 million, yeah, I really would prefer to prioritize that, but this is going to make all the rest of my runs fast. Okay, anyways, now here's the final decision we have to make. Here's an example. Moving forward, since we basically have nothing to buy besides pets, which I could potentially buy this one, right? Either boost HP, yeah, basically boost HP and level him up, because he's now capped. So he gives 25 MP to each member. Oh, wow, it goes higher than level 5. I wonder if they changed that. I thought level 5 was the cap. Interesting. Whereas here, it just doesn't tell you much. It just boosts HP. So as you level them up, they get more and more powerful. So we can do that, and we can buy a pet, or we can convert 200 to 273 essence. So you can see 1.3 million is a lot of gold, but it's not a lot of essence because it's 5k gold per 1 essence. But 273 is a lot. But then when you consider that you go up here, and let's say I wanted to do this a lot, 31, then it might go up to like 33 or 35, and then it might be 40 for each one. So you're going to blast through those fast. You can't take the money with you. So I actually think it might be good to have the pet ready to go, so we can start leveling with this guy too, because the MP is nice, but I'd rather have an HP boost. And since that one at level 5 is 25, that could be pretty big. Let's go ahead and do it. Boom. And then we're going to equip him. All right, now we'll convert the rest. Nope, let's go in here. I'm going to just show off one more time what I have inventory-wise, and then I'm going to sell everything. So you can see the gold stars on each side. So I had this a little more organized before, but I'm just going to show off what I have, and then we're out of here. Remember, these are your bread and butter. Assassin's daggers. That's what you want to run, not the other stuff that I was showing off in the last episode. It was okay, but I bet I would have been even better off if I had been using those daggers. And of course, I remembered eventually. I don't know if I ever showed this off, but kind of cool. 7 HP regen per turn. You can combo that with something like this, and that's not bad. I personally like these gold shields. So this is 50%, 45%, and 40%, and the one below this is 35%, I believe. Oh, whoops. Let me just show all these off. And as we go through the dimensions, we'll just continue to get more and more. I can't remember if I showed that off. I think I did. This is what you really want to start really getting the gold rolling in with the shields, obviously. And eventually there'll be an armor that you can put on that does it as well, just in case you didn't see that coming. These shades, those lobster guys, those weird-looking lobster guys that are standing upright, if they have a set of glasses on the character, then you can possibly get that as a drop. I meant to mention that as well. Okay, let's get rid of everything, shall we? Oops, should probably purge. Alright, let's convert all. We're going to get 76. Boom. No looking back now. Alright, so we have 161. I'm going to save it just because I don't know what the next relic is. And we're really not going to mess with this all that much probably till Dimension 10 because the progress resets every time you do this, so it doesn't make much sense. Alright, I think we're good to go. Let's do this. I know this has been a pretty long episode, but I really wanted to show off what it looked like with the Ragezerker, because I will be using that method probably at least until we get to Dimension 10. Now, if I develop something new, or I remember something that works better, then of course I'll bring you guys in on it. But for now, you can assume that that's the strategy I'm going to go with until it stops working, or I find something way better, so... Oh, wow. Okay. So now, this is, there's no way I'm not taking a gold boost. Again, magic, we're just not having any trouble with that right now. Now, this could be a bad decision, but I'm going to go with gold. Boom. Oh, this is for fighters, the boost for fighters. Okay. We don't really care about that either, unfortunately. This is how it kind of gates you, because it knows the classes you're going to run are the later ones, so... Alright, great. And now that we've jumped dimensions, it should give us 6,000 gold. Yep, 6,000 gold. We can immediately go in if we want to boost this up. Now, this isn't going to give us... You know, this isn't going to give us a huge power curve, but it would be nice to have this. So what would that be? If we got it to 10, it'd just be a flat 10% increase. Just makes our life a little easier. So why don't we do that? You can see what each time it goes up, how much it's increasing. And as you can see, we just blasted through the majority of what we had. So at least we had this. Now let's do 31, 34. Okay, bam. And 20, exactly 20. Boom, and now we have none. So 11, 16, 10, and 10. And this is the fighter, okay? This is the conscript, in case I didn't show that off, the ruffian, and the soda junkie. I only put a few in because typically I start with these guys. However, now we're going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and start my whole run over again, but, you know, with all the bonuses. I still have all this is completely maxed, and I still have... Oh, it undoes this. That I did not know. Okay. I assumed this would be unlocked every time, but we just learned something new. Had no idea. Alright, well, I guess that's somewhat balancing, so you can't just start with these guys. Interesting. Alright, well, that's fine. That doesn't change that much. I should theoretically be able to get to this point, but I will warn, there is some grinding involved in this, so... Like, there's 100% grinding involved. So if you're not down for the whole grind, then you're probably not... This may or may not be the type of game for you. But, you know, at this point, you know, seeing the damage we were doing before, it's only going to get more and more ridiculously powerful. So, yeah, I do hope you enjoyed. If you found yourself liking the video, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed and you're enjoying it, feel free to subscribe as well. Hope to see you in the next episode. We'll see you then. Have a good one.